Okay, everybody, it looks like I am live. Welcome to another live stream. It is Saturday morning, almost about 8 a.m. here in Zhongshan, China. And um, I woke up this morning, not just a little bit ago, and I had a good connection. So I said, okay, let me get online and see who all is out there. I'm not going to try and jump on the toes of Guelo and Alex Absolute and Reportify Media, but yeah, I don't think they come on until 9 a.m. So thought I'd jump under the gun of their show. They got a pretty cool show today. It looks like they got a lot of people. So they got all those guys. It doesn't look like Matt's going to be there, but they got Blondie in China, who's a really good channel for China YouTubers. So check that out. I think they start at 9 a.m. But right now it is about a quarter to 8 a.m. here on Saturday morning. And I'm sure it's Friday night for all of you guys, but I'm just finished my omelet and having some morning orange juice. Lots to talk about for the week, and jump on in if you want to have any questions or comments about what's going on in the world. I'd love to chat with you all. Before we begin, I want to point out you can see, where is it, right here. I've updated my logo and started some new things. So I wanted to get this out of the way real quick. In addition to this, kind of new brand, I don't know what this is going to be yet, but my mentors in this game have told me just do it, and eventually it'll make its own way. So that's what I've been trying to do. I'll show you here. I have also created a new website. So I went out and bought the URL, and then I have another couple domain names that I bought as well. So other projects that I'm working on. And this is just a blogger website. It's free. And I haven't actually done anything on it yet. But what I plan to do is this will be in conjunction with the YouTube channel. So all the videos that you see that I put out, I will have a written version of it which will provide more information about the video itself, about what was happening during that video. And it's just another form of media, but it's going to be a lot of behind the scenes stuff and a lot more information. So some of the more informative videos that I'll make about teaching English or living in China, I will have in written form on this website. So it's something it's a new project. I've never done this before. I'm learning as I go, just like with YouTube. I'm learning as I go. But this is something I'm very excited about. This is just one of them, and I will post all the stuff I normally talk about here as far as life in China, life abroad, teaching English, traveling, whatever, and hotels. But I also have another project that I'm working on with the hotels in conjunction with two companies. And that's going to be really exciting. We're still working out the details, but be on the lookout for when that comes out. It's going to be really cool. In addition, I can show you that I got my new webcam set up. You can see the light in my glasses. Sorry about that. But hopefully the stream is better. Hopefully it's a higher quality video. On my laptop, it was only 720p. But this is doing at 1080p. I can do it at 4K as well, but I'm not sure the connection can handle that much. I'm told that if I overdo it, it'll crash. So remember, I do stream from mainland China. So if the connection does go bad, if it buffers a little bit here and there, hang on, I'll come back. If it conks out completely and you don't talk to me for a couple minutes, depending on where I'm at in the live stream, I might come back and do a part 2, especially if I'm like in the middle of a thought. Let me tell you about what's going on with me. Actually, no, before we do that, I want to go back to this because in the last live stream, I was talking with you guys about some things, but I noticed I didn't have the article actually for you to see. So I wanted to go over that with you again here. This time I actually want to show you the article. So This is about Hubei. I talked about how Hubei has some hidden places. And once all of this craziness is done here in China, I want to travel there. Now, I have been to Hubei before. I've been to Wuhan, but I was only in and out. I didn't stick around and check it out. But this, I came across GIC Expat. This is a week ago. Somewhere tucked away in China lives a mysterious valley of mesmerizing, transparent green waters. And it looks amazing. And China is full of places just like this. And I can't wait to go visit this. Now, what makes this one so interesting is number one, it's in Hubei, so nobody wants to go to Hubei right now. But also, if I recall, a couple other things. There you'll find cliff planks, a virgin forest, waterfalls, stunning sea of clouds, karst landscapes, truly magical. It's been rated as the most beautiful wonderland in China by CNN, the most beautiful place in China by China National Geographic, and it's been added to a World Heritage List by UNESCO. This scene here, I've actually seen places similar to this here in Dongguan, which I hope to go check out. Again, I have a video about. Yeah, the name is escaping me again. It's near Shaoguan, Daxiaoshan. I can't remember. I think that's right, and that has similar kind of landscape to this. I will visit there actually very soon. I have plans to go to Shaoguan in the next 2 weeks to revisit Daxiaoshan and do another video. Now, the last time I was there, my videos at the time were just me with my phone, filming it. I think I had a little bit of commentary in it, but for the most part, they weren't the greatest videos ever. So I want to go back and do a proper video about Daxiaoshan. And I didn't go. Daxiaoshan is a very famous place here in Dongguan. Many YouTubers have been there because it has the phallic rock. It's the penis rock, and people go there and pray to the penis rocks if they're pregnant, so that they can have a son. And they also have a vagina cave, So it's it's kind of interesting, that it's famous for that, but it's also famous for just beautiful mountains, incredible ancient monasteries everywhere, an incredible river, and some cultural things that are on display there. So I'm looking forward to going back, and this time I'm going to spend more than just an afternoon there. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. This is Unchi. I think that's how you pronounce it, in Hubei province. The scenery here is breathtaking, and the best part is very few people know about it. So fewer tourists and happier times. It hides many unexplored secrets for you to discover and explore. Now, in this article, it also says that there's no high-speed rail there. It's very difficult to get to, and that just makes it more alluring to me. But because it's also very difficult to get to, the tourists will be on the low side, so you can enjoy some of this on your own. Hefeng Pingshan Canyon. I'm sure this is just a beautiful day. I don't know if it's going to look like that when I get there, but we'll find out. Yeah, but as you can see, all throughout China, this is in Hubei, all throughout China has these incredibly beautiful, natural scenes. I've seen this. This is similar to an area that I will return to not far from me in Foshan called Xiaoshan. And Xichao Mountain is incredibly beautiful. Not many people know about it. It's got a giant statue of Guanyin. I've been there a couple of times. I've done a couple of videos on them, but they're a little old. So I'd like to go back and see some of this stuff at Xichao. Great place to go hiking. Great place to spend, a day or two walking around. Yeah. Good morning, mate. Anzac Day in Australia today. First time in 105 years history it has been cancelled. I now has an added meaning. 105 years was fighting a seen enemy today. Anzac Day. I'm not familiar. Forgive me, Mike. I don't know what Anzac Day is. I'm not all that familiar with Australian holidays. I should ask my Australian friend here and say, hey, what's going on? Morning to almost 7 p.m. here. Yeah, I woke up this morning and the connection is good, so I wanted to see if I can get with you guys. Mike, you say the world is fighting together an unseen enemy. I think some of the world is, forgive me, I think some of the world is fighting this virus, but I think a lot of the world is in retreat. You know, I don't like using the war analogy when it comes to this virus because to me it's not a war. You know, I know what war is. But if you want to use the war analogy, um, I think most of the world is hiding in the brush and afraid to come out, waiting for the big monster to just, consume all the resources available and move on. So I'm not sure I agree with the analogy of war. It's a different type of thing, and I've said my piece on how certain countries, especially my country, are dealing with this, and I really kind of don't want to get into that. Okay, Mike, same as Veterans Day. Okay, well, Mike, are you a veteran? If you are, brothers in arms, my friend. Hello from Batangas City, Philippines. Very cool. Where's Batangas City? I don't know where that is. What island is that on? I've only been to the Philippines once. I've only been to Cebu and the surrounding islands. So I've been to Manila, but I was only there for a few hours in transit. So I can't really say I've been to Manila, right? But I love these live streams because I get to talk from people from all around the world. This is great. The other article that we talked about last live stream, but I didn't get a chance to show it, was this one. Guangzhou to build world's largest professional football stadium, and I commented on how amazing it looked and how cool it was going to be, and you guys couldn't see it. I'm sorry about that. So, owned by Guangzhou Evergrande, the stadium's capacity will surpass Camp Nou in Barcelona with a floor area of 150,000 square meters. The stadium is designed with the appearance of blooming lotus and will be a landmark of Guangzhou. Yeah, it's going to be gigantic. Guangzhou has a number of incredible looking buildings architecturally, and I can't wait. One of the things I want to do is get a drone because they're fun. I know they're way too expensive a camera for B-roll. That's what most YouTubers use it for B-roll. But I want to use it for a specific purpose. Two reasons. A lot of times when I go hiking, I want to get an aerial view of the nature surrounding me. I don't think we need any more drone shots of city skyscrapers and skylines. There's plenty of that here in China. But what I would like to do is get some aerial shots of specific buildings. I've been doing a lot of research because I'm a fan of architecture. So I've been doing a lot of research on the newer, more interesting architectural designs that you see throughout China, especially here in Guangdong. Shenzhen's got a ton. Guangzhou has a lot of them. My city, Zhongshan, not so much. They're just some of the new buildings are beautiful, but they're not anything spectacular or groundbreaking. But Guangzhou has some amazing world-class architecture that most people don't even know about. They might have seen a picture here and there, but they don't understand or really know much about it. So what I want to do, if they'll let me fly a drone in some of the places in these cities, is get some aerial shots of some of these buildings. And this is an example of one of the amazing buildings that are being built currently here in Guangdong. Yeah, it's a lotus, by the way. I'm now it's been a hit or miss. Some people don't like it. That it's got some people who think, oh, it doesn't look all that pretty, or please have a different design. This is going to cost 1.69 billion US dollars to build, and we hope the stadium will host the opening ceremonies of the Asian Championships in 2023. They say that they've broke ground on it now. They have this. I have video of it actually. Let me show you. Yeah, so I'll just will it play. Yeah, there it goes. So they have video of the opening ceremony with all these trucks and backhoes, at the ready. We're going to get to work right away. And if it does get to work right away, they're planning on it being completed by December 2022. So that's less than 2 years away, right? A little more than 2 years, 2.5 years they can build this. That's pretty impressive. You got the backhoes ready to go, all the dump trucks on the site, December 2022. That's 2.5 years away, a little over 2.5 years away to build this out. It's insane how fast that is. I know they're building a giant stadium in Los Angeles for the football teams there, and it's going to be amazing. But they've been building that for like how many years now? 5-6 years? When is that one going to be open? The one in Las Vegas is still being built. I know it's different economies and things like this, but it just goes to show you how fast they can build amazing structures, some world-class structures like this. Okay, so there it is. There's another article here, and in addition to this is Guangzhou Evergreen new football stadium has caused a massive stir on the internet over the last few days due to its unique lotus shape. On April 19th, the owner declared that it will build 2 more football stadiums of 80,000 seats in China, and that the shape will be decided by you, the fans. So, through a vote. So we'll go through some of the designs, and I'll ask you what you guys think. 1.5 years? Well, it's 2020 summer, right? December 2020. That's 6 months. And then 2 years after that, so 2.5 years. So soccer, they're putting a lot of money into soccer here in China. So let's go here. Okay, so here is Plan 1, which kind of looks like the bird's nest in Beijing. Yeah, I'm not really feeling it. Plan 2, more of a floral design. I kind of like this one. This one looks kind of cool. They're very similar, I guess. Plan 3, also kind of like the bird's nest. I'm not sure I like this one. I think Plan 2 looks best so far. Plan 4, well, that's pretty cool. I think I kind of like Plan 4. That one looks pretty good. Plan 5, looks the same to me. Plan 6, well, that one's interesting. I kind of like that one. It's different, All kind of have like a floral kind of feeling to it. So those are the 6. So I'm thinking either Plan 6, Plan 4, or Plan 2. No, 3, 4, 6. I'm going to go with Plan 6. I just think it looks the most interesting. But what do you guys think? How do I vote? Plan 6. It won't let me vote. Oh, I have to scan to follow it. All right, we'll do that later. Okay. All right. So good morning, everybody. Where's everyone streaming from? How many people I got on here? Just 10. I did get a question. Just woke up this morning and had it from my last live stream from a viewer regarding English classes. I'll go ahead and answer this. It says, I'd like to hear your solutions for grading large classes online. I'm in China as well, teaching for a university averaging 70 students. I'm using both Zoom and WeChat. I have them emailing me homework, which can be quite cumbersome. I have been doing oral assessments during class in Zoom. They can also do it using WeChat voice recording. I'm new there, and as far as I know, I'm the only teacher there using Zoom. Some others are using DingTalk. DingTalk is a popular one here that I know many teachers are using, and I'm not using any of it. We haven't figured out yet. Now, you say you have 70 students. Is that 70 students per class or 70 students total? That I don't know, but it sounds like you are in a similar position as I am. And I haven't found a solution yet for the online gig. The sound is a bit low. Sorry about that. I have to talk into the mic like this. So I'll keep the mic here. Oh, there you are. Okay, yeah. This is you. Talkong China here. Yes, that was my comment about online university classes look like I logged on at the right time. Perfect. Yeah, I took a picture of it and wanted to answer it. My answer is I don't know yet. So, do you have 70 students altogether, or do you have 70 students per class? I have 70 to well over 100 students per class, and it's overwhelming if you need to do oral assessments for that amount of students at that time. It's nearly impossible. I don't know how anyone can do that. Not given the time constraints that we have. I mean, you have to teach, you have to give lections, you have to do lesson planning, but then you have to do oral assessments for me, it'd be thousands of students per week. It's impossible. You know, if you give on average 3 to 5 minutes per student, you're talking 60, 70 hours a week. Yeah, so you're just like me then. We haven't figured it out yet. The other teachers in the department have been assigning homework, mostly gap fill kind of stuff, multiple choice questions, but that's not oral English. That's listening English at the most. So what we've done in the past before this online thing is we would spend 2 or 3 weeks at the end of every term doing oral assessments on everything that we taught. So in the classroom, we would give, the way I would do contextualizing, and then I would do input, then I do choral drilling, and then after choral drilling, I would do controlled practice, and then after controlled practice, I do free practice. So the controlled practice is similar to choral drilling, only in smaller groups, and then put it on the screen. Once they've got enough practice, then I turn them loose, and then I go around the classroom. I spend a little bit of time, working with the certain students that I know need the help. Many students don't need the help. They're fine on their own, but in a large classroom setting, you're going to find certain students that do. So I would focus on them, and I would check in with the other students as well. So I spent a lot of time doing that, and that's the classroom setting. And then in subsequent classes, I would do review. So I would begin the class with review of the last class, and so a cumulative body of work over a term. And then at the end of the term, what we've built together, then I would do individual oral assessments for each student. So I would give them a task, the rest of the class of a task to do, and then in a corner, I would call them over and spend a few minutes. Some only need a couple minutes. Some need a little bit more time. You work with them, work through the exercises. And then you assess them and give them feedback in person right then and there. And that's their oral grade. That's part of their oral English grade. So it can be daunting. I mean, those 2 or 3 weeks where I'm testing the students are a nightmare. They're not any fun. And it's tedious. It's tedious work. But it really is the only opportunity that the students will have one-on-one with me in this setting. These are not English majors. These are engineering majors, and English is a cursory part of their curriculum. And I'm fulfilling that need. There are other classes that I do this. Now, when you turn that into an online setting, it throws all the methodology out the window, and you have to kind of think on the fly. I've only been doing it for 1 week, and I'm back at work. And I'm working my freaking ass off right now trying to figure this out and work with all the students and the other teachers and the department to try to earn my paycheck, I guess. So, before they told me I wouldn't have to do this, but just 2 weeks ago they said, "Well, you need to do it, and you need to do a whole term in 6 weeks." So I've been working my tail off. Now my colleague is stuck in England and he can't come back to China, and he's been providing content, but he has connection issues, and he will try to transfer some of these files via WeTransfer or something to me with these large video files, and it's very difficult. And we're struggling a lot, and then trying to transfer all that onto the online platform that the college is using through the portal, through their website, and then they do some kind of, they don't use DingTalk, they use Superstar, I think it's called, to do to organize the classes. And then there's another app that they use. It's similar to DingTalk, but it's something else that they are using for live streaming. Now, I'm not doing live streaming. I'm recording my lectures, and then subsequently, when the students are watching it, I can give feedback in real time. But they also told me that my lectures were too long. So at first they said, "Paul, you need to provide 90-minute lectures." Okay, 90 minutes. I'm used to that. I can do that. No problem. So 90-minute lectures. And then this week they said, they're too long. Could you break them up? So, okay, this week I broke them up into smaller, like little 20-minute segments. And it's easier to organize and film 20-minute lectures. A 90-minute lecture, it has to flow. So it makes it easier for me. So that's a good thing. But as far as the evaluation, we're not quite sure how we're going to do it yet. With softwares like Can 8, you can have them speak into software for later review, though. It's not how to get the feedback to us. The problem is the time. When you have thousands of students that need to do it, 3 to 5 minutes per student, that adds up, and you have to do it every week. So it's not just, you have to listen to what they're saying. You have to analyze what they're saying and analyze the needs of what's wrong. Is it grammar? Is it pronunciation? Is it syllable stressing? Whatever the issue is, you have to analyze it, and then you have to provide feedback. And once you provide feedback, then in a normal setting, you would have them repeat it back again until they get it right. And that is extremely time consuming. And to do that for thousands of students is just impossible on a weekly basis. That's why I only work with my students one-on-one because I'm a lecturer. So I only get a chance to work with my students one-on-one at the end of the term. I can work with them one-on-one in a classroom, but it's real quick. It's like, okay, let's work you and my, good, next. And then I have to move on. It's a different English learning setting. I do prefer a more one-on-one setting. So I have other students that I teach, VIP students and corporate clients, and I get a chance to work with them on a more professional level. But here at the college, it doesn't work that way. Yeah, I've never actually met them in an actual classroom. That would make more sense than these online. So you are new, and you never actually met your students or worked with them in the classroom. I've got second-year non-English majors. This is week 10 for us. It's exactly right. You pretty much have the same thing I do. What city are you in? It's funny. They've always got complaints. Always something. Yep, it adds up. So your days off aren't really your days off. You're working through them. That's true. I've been working very hard these last couple weeks. The last 2 weeks, I'm finally taking a day off today. I'm going to go up to Xiaolan and meet with some friends for some dim sum. That would be nice. But and this evening, I'm going to relax and stay at home and watch a movie. And then tomorrow, back to work. Got a lot of other projects that I'm working on, things to do. Speaking of what I am doing, um, the part of Suzhou. Okay. I have not been to Suzhou. I've been through there on the train, but I haven't actually stopped. It's one of the places I need to go. So you're up there. We'll talk more about how things are moving here at the college. The college is all under construction. All the classrooms are being redone, which is great. They needed it. Got new lighting, new fans, new air conditioners. The same chalkboards though. We don't have the whiteboards. They went with the same chalkboards, and I was like, you're spending all this money on paint and redoing all the plaster on the walls and new lighting, which is wonderful. I'm not complaining about that, but just a little bit more, just a little bit more. Give us some whiteboards and not the chalk. All right. Also, if you saw in my last video, they've cut down all the trees behind my apartment. So it used to be I opened the curtains to my bedroom and there'd be beautiful greenery and trees and birds chirping. That's all gone. They cut it all down and they're starting massive construction work completely surrounding my building. So they have my building, and then right next to my building is one of the dormitories. It's the same setup, um, only they're dorms. They're not apartments. They're not faculty housing. And they are cutting down all the vegetation. They're digging out new, you know, hills to build new retaining walls, and they are building 4 new tower buildings that are literally right outside right next door. And it's going to be massively noisy to come this summer. The students are still under quarantine, so there's no students at your school. There's no students at my school either. There are me and 4 other teachers now living on the campus in my building. And I've gotten to know a couple of them okay. We're friendly. And, before this is my second year here, before all the teachers that are here weren't here last year. These are all new teachers. But in the first term, it was like cursory hello as you walk by in the hallway. But now I got to know a couple of them, and a couple of them speak English, and I'm practicing my Chinese. So it's been kind of a small little community here, right? Which is great. I'm only still okay. I think I'm back on. Sorry about that, guys. I have lost connection with my um, live chat. So I apologize for that. So if you are typing in the live chat, I will not be able to see what you type. So by all means, please continue to type, make comments, ask questions. When I go back into this, I'll be able to look at it and answer some questions within the comment section. So you guys can talk amongst yourselves in the chat. Unfortunately, I cannot see you, so sorry about that. It's one of those things. It's happened a few times when I do live streams. It cannot refresh the stream unless I come out and start a new stream. But I don't want to do that. I'm not going to spend too much time because I don't want to step on the toes of Guelo and Reportify Media and their large live stream that they do at 9 a.m. So I do want to talk about a few other things, though. So I'll go ahead and put this up, and you guys can follow along if you like. So we talked about that. Okay. Be on the lookout for my new webpage. It's a blog, but it'll be a blog post similar to what you see in my YouTube channel, but it'll go into more in depth on the subject matter that I'm talking about. Guangdong conducts virus tests on teachers, students back to school. So we are all preparing to welcome the students back to school, and everyone will be tested, including the teachers. I'm no doubt will be tested as part of my residence permit renewal. South China's Guangdong province has conducted nucleic acid tests on 2,100 teachers and students in their final year of junior and senior high schools, local authorities said. The final year students for middle school and high school are going back to school, I think, this week. And the reason is because they're preparing to take the Zhongkao and the Gaokao tests. So they're very important years for these students. Those tests have been delayed for 1 month, so they will be taking them in July. No abnormality was found in the acid tests, according to the press briefing in Guangdong provincial government Wednesday. Students in graduating classes in junior and senior high schools in Guangdong are scheduled to return on April 27th, so Monday. Statistics show that there are nearly 500,000 teachers and staff in the province's 4,800 ordinary high schools, and the number of grade 3 students back to school is over 1.87 million. That's a lot of tests. I mean, what is that? Well over 2 million tests. How many tests have they done in America as a whole? I don't know. But this is just for teachers, and they plan on doing this within 1 week. All local governments in Guangdong are demanded to purchase and prepare masks for teachers and students to be used for 14 days. Temperature measuring equipment, disinfectant, wash-free hand sanitizer, and other epidemic prevention materials must be provided to schools. Guangdong will invite medical staff to instruct all schools to conduct epidemic prevention and control, with each school having at least one medical worker on campus. We have a clinic here on my college campus. They are there. The doctors are there. The nurses are there right now, preparing, doing what they need to do. Even though there's only 5 of us living on the campus and we're all teachers, they are down there and they're preparing for the students to come back. Now, my students won't start coming back for another couple of weeks, but the school is preparing for it. So here's something else. I saw this. This is the city announces reopening of offline training institutions. This is Hangzhou Tube. This is a situation report. This is what they give us in Zhejiang. And here on April 21st, 2020, Zhongshan Education Bureau of Zhejiang issued a notice announcing the opening time of offline training for training institutions. According to the notice, the offline training institutions of primary and middle schools reviewed and approved by the Education Bureau can carry out offline training in succession from May 6. Teachers and students of training institutions shall enter the campus with the Zhongshan Green Code after passing the temperature screening. Besides, teachers and students from hard-hit areas should take the nucleic acid and serum tests before returning to school. So this is saying that the training centers are going to start opening up. But this is in Zhejiang. This is not Guangdong. I assume that Guangdong will be one of the last provinces to open the training centers because we got hit harder than other places. But May 6th is right around the corner. So it's happening very quickly. How the business is going to do, nobody really knows, because the demand side of the curve is the unknown. Nobody knows if anyone's actually going to come back to the training centers and learn. In addition, if you saw my interview I did with China teacher Brand, Fernando was saying that, okay, the students will be required to work through the summer and Saturdays to make up for the lost time. We'll see what is going to happen with that. But that's when most of these training centers earn their monies, on the weekends and during the summertime. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this affects the industry as a whole. Most of my friends who work for training centers have been let go. They've lost their jobs, and they are welcome to reapply when the classes start again, whether or not they need it. I know that many of the larger training centers are still recruiting, but everything's still in limbo, because if you're not in country right now, you can't come back, and nobody knows when they're going to open the borders to foreigners again. So it's all kind of still up in the air. Nobody really, really knows. And it's that uncertainty uh, within the industry is killing it. It's not just killing teachers like me and other foreigners. It's killing everybody. The industry hires thousands and thousands of people. And we're not just talking teachers. We're talking sales and marketing people. We're talking IT people. The guys who hand the flyers out, the cleaning lady, the front desk people, the accountants, the human resources department, the recruiting department. All of these departments are desperately waiting to go back to work, and it's not just in English teaching. It's in art teaching, which I have friends who are in that business. It's in music education. It's in vocational training. It's in computer and software training. All of these institutions, which is a massive, massive industry in this country, everyone is still waiting to go back. And there have been some news reports here and there of like these underground kindergartens or these training institutions in back alleys that have been trying to start up work again have been come and shut down and fined, and it's all over the news for this stuff. So Zhejiang looks like they're going to open up May 6th. I still don't know. There's still no real word on when they're going to open up in Guangdong, but I assume it'll probably be, if everything goes well, it'll probably be at the end of May. That's my guess. Okay. Every day they say, in Guangzhou they've discovered new asymptomatic cases. They've discovered new cases here and there. It's usually 2 or 3 a day, something like that. And there were a couple districts in Guangzhou that were raised to a medium level risk. They've all been lowered to a low level risk. Same thing here in Zhongshan. It doesn't mean no risk. It's just a low level. So everywhere you go, they still take your temperature. You still need to wear a mask when you go into buildings and private businesses. You still need to write down your name and phone number for contact tracing in case something happens. So the more you go out, the more you're exposed. And if somebody finds out that they have it, then you are going to be contacted. So it's not a perfect world, but it is the world that we live in. And if with the proper precautions, you can live your life. I feel free to live my life just fine. Even with the restrictions that I'm on and the proper precautions that I do take, I still think I have more freedom than I do than most people in America right now. That's something to be said. Here's for the official schedule time for universities across the country. You see Anhui, Shanghai. So May 6th for Anhui. Shanghai graduate students will start this week, and then the other grades a week later. So it looks like their graduating and postgraduate students are starting first. Here's Guangdong, May 11th for graduates, so the final year graduate students. And then the other grades, May 18th. So that's me. This is my students here, May 18th. Now, I'm doing the whole online thing right now. It's unknown how the transition to a live classroom is going to go. I might have to finagle some lesson plans and work it out. And I don't know how long the term will go until. If it's going to bleed into July, I don't know. So we're still working all of that out. Everyone's still working all that out. So you can see here, just about every province. Xinjiang started April 8th. Qinghai started April 1st. So many of the students are already back. Okay, let's have some fun. All right, no more doom and gloom. Unique homestays add charm to rural Chongqing. Now, Alex from Reportify Media has been doing some great work on the filming Chongqing. I've been to Chongqing. I love the city. It's too massive. I was only there for like 3 days. It's too massive to consume in 3 days. It's just a gigantic city that most people have never heard of outside of China. But it's, 30 million people within the municipal area. It's incredibly large. But any city that you go to, as you know, you can stay in a big hotel, and they're pretty affordable. But you can stay in nice, charming homestays. Let's see, like this. I try to stay, and you can book into these homestays through my travel app that I use is trip.com or Ctrip within China itself. I've been working with them for a couple of years, and I got some big news regarding that company coming out soon. So, and a possible partnership with them, which is going to be really cool. But you can book these just like a regular hotel, and most of them do have the software so foreigners can stay. It's just a easy connection with the local police department when they scan their, your passport and they fill out the temporary registration for foreigners. If they have that software and that connection with the local police department, you can stay in these places, and many of them do, especially in tourist areas. So I stayed in many of these in Hunan, and I had the time of my life. They're really unique, individual, almost like a B&B. The owners are working the desk. They care about the guests. I love staying in big, fancy hotels as well, but having personal attention in places like this, just read the reviews and make sure that they're good. Longer holidays in these regions. Is it safe to travel now? That's a big question. Is it safe for me to travel within China? On April 14th, People Government of Sichuan issued a notice to encourage people to enjoy a longer vacation by combining their paid leave in lieu of Labor Day vacation and a Dragon Boat Festival, which will form a new golden week from the perspective of consumption. That's happening next week. May Day, their Labor Day, it's something like 5-6 days off. And many people are planning to travel within China for this. They're planning to go on vacation. It's going to be very interesting to see the results of this. I'm pretty optimistic. I think that the Chinese people are pretty on, they're on high alert. They're on guard. I don't think it's going to be massive crowds everywhere. And when people do go, they're going to be trying to social distance. You're going to see videos and photos of people in these tourist areas squatched together, and they're going to make a big deal out of that. But for the most part, when people travel to other places, you're going to see a couple of examples, and they're going to make the news, and everyone's going to think that's happening all over the country. That's just the way the world works right now. It's the way media works. But in a lot of places that people are going to go, they're going to be social distancing. The people will be wearing masks. There's going to be hand sanitizer. There's going to be checks. You're going to have the app and the green code to go everywhere. If you don't have that, you're not getting in. They're going to have online. You have to register online before you arrive. So they're only going to have a certain amount of people allowed in these attractions at one time. So it's going to be messy in many areas. But for the most part, I think the Chinese governments, the provincial governments are aware, and they are gearing up for the crowds that are inevitably going to come next week during this massive holiday that's going to happen. Once again, I'm sorry I cannot see your chat. So if you are chatting to me, I'm unable to read it. And I won't be able to read it until after the live stream is done and I replay it. But by all means, please comment, leave your comments. I'd love to hear them. And if you have any questions, I'll answer them within the chats after the case. All right. So is it safe to travel? Expert Q&A. Can people enjoy traveling in view of the current epidemic situation since they're given more holidays? Per Li Lanjuan, academician of the Chinese Academy of Engineering, as per the current situation, epidemic control, people will be able to enjoy the coming holidays, and it is relatively safe to travel inside China. Is it safe to travel to Wuhan, considering the asymptomatic patients? Will it trigger another big wave? According to Hu Yaobo, Vice Mayor of Wuhan, total of 226,000 acid tests have been carried out since the shutdown of Wuhan was lifted on April 8th, and 130 asymptomatic infections have been confirmed, where the ratio is 5.7 per 10,000. Currently, the testing capacity of Wuhan reaches 40,000 people per day, which can cover the quarantine inspection to key groups. Doesn't really answer the question, but I would probably stay away from Wuhan and Hubei. That's my personal choice. Remember, when you go places, you have to scan a QR code, which gives you the code, the red, green, yellow code. And this uses GPS tracking. So if you're in an area that they deem to be dangerous, or if you come in close contact with somebody who they find out has it, then your code will change to yellow or red without you even knowing. And you have to be very careful about that. So every time I scan that code, when I go to the gym, when I go certain places, I'm always a little worried. Did I come across somebody who, is asymptomatic, who's been tested and found to be asymptomatic, and then that changes my code, and now I can't go anywhere? That's one of the things I worry about. So if I go to Hubei or Wuhan, I think the chances of that happening are a little higher than they would be if I just went to Xiaolan or Zhaoqing, which are two places I plan on going to. Over the holiday, I do plan on traveling a little bit. I'd like to go to Xiaolan and Zhaoqing. Zhaoqing has the Seven Stars Crags, which I hope to visit again. I haven't been there in many years. And then in Xiaolan, I want to go back to Dashashan. Okay. Tourism sector goes digital amid epidemic. I don't want to talk about this. We'll save that for next time. But here's an example of what I'm talking about here in Guangzhou. New greenway to open on May Day break. Indoor attractions are still closed. You'll find that, they'll open the outdoors sections, but the indoor sections will be closed for the holiday. The upcoming International Labor Day holiday, a 5-day break starting on May 1st, is expected to see some 90 million tourists venturing out nationwide, doubling the number of during the Qingming festival in early April. In Qingming, nobody went anywhere. You couldn't go anywhere. All the cemeteries were closed and all the temples were closed. The temples are still closed. So if people who are Buddhists cannot go to the temple to pray, they're all closed still. As parts of anti-epidemic measures, all types of public gatherings, including recreational and sports activities, are temporarily suspended, and cross-province and cross-border travels are not encouraged in the country. So you can do it, but they say try to stay within your own province. But citizens can still make some excursions near home to cheer themselves up, according to Li Lanjian, an epidemiologist and expert in National Health Commission. Activities in indoor tourist sites are not recommended, as multiple indoor sightseeing venues and museums have been closed again in Guangzhou since April 18th. I didn't know that. Interesting. The new greenway in Guangzhou, set to officially open to the public during the Labor Day holiday, however, can be a good choice for citizens to avoid crowds and still make the most of the holiday in the city. With a walking trail built above the ground, the greenway will allow people to enjoy the exceptional scenery and greenery of the city from above. We have a greenway here in Zhongshan, but it's heavily developed in some places and not really well developed in others. This one goes through Baiyun Mountain. There's a reservoir here. I've been to Baiyun Mountain before. It's wonderful. I think this is the Zhongshan section here. Okay. The Greenway connects several popular attractions in the city, including Baiyun Mountain, Luhu Lake, Huaguo, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, Mountain, Guangzhou Sculpture Park, and Yueshu Park and Sun Yat-sen Memorial Hall. Overpasses are built across streets and roads to avoid busy traffic in areas around Baiyun Mountain, the lake, and Yueshu Mountain. Opening hours for the Greenway will be 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day. That's not long. And only 4,000 people are allowed to enter per hour to limit the flow of visitors and reduce risks of infections. That's not a lot of people. For China, that's a very small amount of people being allowed on this thing. 5 entrances will be open to the public, south and northeast gates. So we have Yueshua Park, Guangzhou Sculpture Park, and the entrance to Xiaotingxi Overpass. I don't know that one. And then Luhu Park. Citizens should register prior to their visits, as well as produce a valid ID card and the Suikang code, and have body temperature taken before entering. Due to limitations of the facilities, wheelchairs and buggies are not recommended at the Greenway. So you're going to have a valid ID card. I guess for foreigners, that would be our passport. Your QR code. And your body temperature. Now, I've also noticed that in many places, they are doing automatic scanning of your temperature. When you go places, there's a machine or a camera that will take a photo of your face for facial recognition, and it will automatically determine if you are eligible to go in or come out. It's the world we live in, guys. Okay, with that being said, I want to end it here. Got Alex Absolute, Guelo 60, Alex from Reportify Media, and two more people. Blondie in China is a great get for that. It's a wonderful China YouTube channel that I recommend people watch because it's very positive. She's very happy. Her Chinese is fantastic, and her editing is fantastic. She's a wonderful YouTuber here in China, and she's going to be on that show, which begins in about 15 minutes. And so everyone go watch that one. Maybe someday they'll let me come on that show. I know those guys. They're all pretty cool guys, and it's they've all got very good perspectives about what it's like life here in China. In addition, starting on Monday, as you guys know, I did the podcast of course, China. They've been running it for a couple weeks now with 2 guests, and all next week, I believe Fernando said that I start on Monday. So you'll see little clips. I'll share the clips throughout the week on my Facebook page, and then on Friday, you'll be able to see the full interview. So with that being said, thank you all very much for joining me. It's not a long live stream this week. Oh, one more thing. If you guys watch Randy Flagg, who's black and abroad in China, he's an interesting watch. He's got a very unique perspective on China. Smart guy. I don't agree with everything he says, but that doesn't mean you should discount his voice. He's got a very good voice. And his format for his videos, he does live streams, but he also does little news clips. He does news clips and commentary throughout the week, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. And I'm a fan of that. And I think that might be beneficial. When I do these live streams, it's great, but the connection can be bad. It cuts out, and I cannot talk with you guys. So when I do the news articles and stuff, I might just do a recording of it and release it on my channel here and there. It's kind of like a news update. So I've got a lot of free time. I've been working my butt off with the school lately, but I still have a lot of free time to do things like this and to update the channel with different, still playing with it basically, guys. So if you like one thing, let me know. If you want me to keep doing something else, let me know. It's a community effort. So with all that being said, thank you all for joining me. We'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.